Greetings, everybody. Dave DeWalt here. I'm the founder and CEO of NightDragon, and we're coming to you live from San Francisco at the RSA Cybersecurity Conference. Here in beautiful San Francisco, this is the largest cybersecurity conference in the world, and this is the biggest ever RSA event. I've been coming to 20 years of this, and it's so wonderful to have the whole cyber community around, and it's kind of like a family. And I get a chance here to partner with NASDAQ and get a chance to interview some of the hottest cybersecurity companies in the world. And today I have a special guest, Robert Johnston, who is the founder and CEO of Adlumin. Robert, thank you so much for joining the show. Really appreciate. First of all, what does Adlumin mean? Tell about the name of the company, and then we'll talk about what it does.
Yeah, a common question, actually. It's the two Latin root words, ad light, ad lumen. And so now we get to create fun little taglines to say like add light to your network or light up the dark, those
kind of like my old company FireEye. We had that kind of thing too.
Exactly.
I get it, add light, I love it. Okay, talk to the audience a little bit about what Adlumin does.
Yeah, Adlumin's a command center for security operations built for the channel. We're delivered actually under that umbrella. We have a SIEM XDR platform. We have an MDR managed security service, vulnerability management. Our goal is to decrease complexity, decrease multi-vendor spend, and allow the channel to choose convenience first, delivering a suite of cybersecurity products and services to, I would call the SMB space, right? Middle market, enterprise light, and SMB customers.
Yeah, and this market segment, the small, medium business, or what do you want to call, has been the most attacked area we've seen in the world. And ransomware has been probably the biggest culprit in that area. Talk a little bit about what you're doing in the ransomware area to help these customers.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. I mean, if you think about it, if you're an attacker, do you want to spend all your resources to attack Bank of America or a small dentist office? And what's the prospect that they'll pay? And I think the answer has been the SMB market. They view it as weak. I mean, that's fundamentally what it comes down to. And at Adlumin, we aim to make them, of course, not weak. And we've launched a couple of capabilities in the ransomware prevention space. And we did it just, I would say, out of pure necessity. And typically, you wouldn't put this kind of product on, say, a managed detection and response company. You would put it on an endpoint company, right? But what we found is that endpoints were really struggling from ransomware prevention with file system preservation. In every ransomware attack we've seen, while they may have a 100% detection rate, 75% of the file system was completely destroyed before there was a preventative action. And we've came up with a really creative solution, placing markers at the roots of the entire file system, and at the very top of the root of the entire file system, where our markers are the first things to be destroyed by ransomware. It allows us to really focus on file system preservation. In many cases, we find that we save 98% of the file system before antivirus will even kick in. So, our mantra there is really, ransomware recovery is a lot easier when nothing important got encrypted, right?
Very important area, that recovery component of ransomwares as well. I always thought security as a service, as I always called it, would become mainstream at some point. And you're creating almost security as a service by simplifying all this for a market segment that doesn't have a lot of people that they can hire or doesn't understand all the technicalities and threats and things that are going on. Talk a little bit about where Adlumin's at in its journey, and how much capital you've raised, how many employees you have, kind of a little bit of the size for the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So globally, Adlumin has a little over 200 employees. We service about 2,000 businesses globally as well. We're big in, North America, Latin America, APAC, ANZ, EMEA. Anyways, quite a few locations. Those customers tend to be SMB customers. Now, how we approach these markets is, of course, through the channel, right? The channel is the primary servicer of the SMB, and it doesn't matter if you're in EMEA or here in North America. That seems to be a similar
Talk about
case.
what kind of channel, just for the audience, what does channel mean to you?
Yeah, we have two primary, I would say, channel go-to-market strategies. The first is an MSP go-to-market, where the MSP is the customer. You could think of this as the end customer being a small small dentist office or a small law firm that has no internal IT capability or capacity and no internal security capability or capacity, Adlumin is providing those managed security services and software to that MSP to then pass on to their customers. The other channel go to market is through your more traditional VAR, reseller, distribution, to the middle market, and I would say up to the enterprise light market, if you want to talk about that, where the end customer there has a small internal IT component. You know, you may say a 5,000 person company might have five folks that work in IT and security. The problem there is those five people are responsible for everything. Like a new desktop needs to get deployed, or Cindy the teller gets her account locked out, or thwarting ransomware, right? They're responsible for everything and they have 1,000 different tasks and they're looking for help. And that's where you now are seeing, I feel like, managed security services become mainstream, because the problem there is there's a lack of capacity, there's a lack of time, and there's a lack of sophistication in this market segment.
When was the company founded and how much capital have you raised so far? What's public that you can tell us?
Yeah, we raised about $80 million in total
Congratulations.
from start to finish. Thank you so much. And we got started in early 2017. It's not saying much. It was just me back then. But now, you know, the company has certainly, you know, grown to more than 200 employees globally. And it's sometimes even shocking to me to see the scale and size that we are.
I'm always inspired and energized by founders, especially ones that start companies themselves. I worked hard on NightDragon getting it going too, and I was always a professional CEO before it, so I have a whole new appreciation for how hard it is to build companies and do it. Really inspired by, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Johnston with Adlumin, founder and CEO, solving cybersecurity as a service for small and medium businesses. One of the biggest problems we're facing, one of the hottest companies out there. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.